to my cozy corner. Today we are in a little bit of a different spot. I am sitting on the floor, yes, one of my favorite places to be, and I have our new bookshelf in the background. So I figured, despite the fact that there's a bed in the way, as well as some closet doors, this is the perfect spot for us to film the next segment of our book series. So, I am so excited to announce that the book that we are discussing today is A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. If you don't know, this is the fourth installment of the Hunger Games series. Now, you might be saying, well, the Hunger Games series is like 7 years old. Why are we still dwelling on it? Well, we're throwing it back to 2013 because this girl was a huge Hunger Games fan. So that is why I had to pick this up and I had to read it, and I am so glad I did. We are going to start with the synopsis as always. It's the morning of the reaping that will kick off the 10th annual Hunger Games. In the capital, 18-year-old Coriolanus Snow is preparing for his one shot at glory as a mentor in the games. The once mighty House of Snow has fallen on hard times, its fate hanging on the slender chance that Coriolanus will be able to outcharm, outwit, and outmaneuver his fellow students to mentor the winning tribute. The odds are against him. He's been given the humiliating assignment of mentoring the female tribute from District 12, the lowest of the low. Their fates are now completely intertwined. Every choice Coriolanus makes could lead to favor or failure, triumph or ruin. Inside the arena, it will be a fight to the death. Outside the arena, Coriolanus starts to feel for his doomed tribute, and must weigh his need to follow the rules against his desire to survive no matter what it takes. So, I will fully admit that I don't believe that synopsis gives anything away. I think that's honestly one of the best synopses that I've ever read. This book was easily one of the ones that I could not put down. And I know it seems like it took me a long time to read it because I knew that if I just kept reading, I would have it done in like 2 days. And I kind of wanted to prolong it just because I didn't want to rush through it. I really wanted to enjoy it, because I do remember reading the Hunger Games and I was sick at the time when I was reading them. So I really did kind of rush through it because I had nothing better to do. So I really got to savor this one, and I'm so glad I did. But basically, this book starts off, if you don't remember, Coriolanus Snow in the other Hunger Games books is the president of Panem. So obviously he's very well off, he's very rich, he obviously has a huge play in the Hunger Games. So what I really enjoyed was that this kind of gave us an insight into his life prior, very, very, very much prior to him becoming president. And it kind of went from seeing Coriolanus and then transitioning into the Coriolanus Snow that we know as president, which is really interesting to me. And I think that it was very, very much worth the writing. I actually think this one might be the biggest one that she has out. I'm not sure. But it's really interesting to see how he goes from really, really conflicted in himself and not being sure of whether or not he should be or shouldn't be doing certain things with his tribute or for his tribute, to basically willing to give up his life for her without giving too much away, to essentially doing a full 180 and being the president that we recognize in the Hunger Games, even though he's so young. And it's really interesting to me how you see a lot of today's culture in it, just because you see how well the wealthy can get off with certain things, or the punishments that they are given aren't necessarily one that is even favorable or even worth it if there's a crime that's been committed. So it's really interesting to me that this is the take that it has had. Honestly, I had so much nostalgia reading this book. It took me back, and it really did remind me of all about the Hunger Games, and there's a lot of little anecdotes in this book that carry over to the newer ones as well as the movies. So if you've seen the movies, I can't remember if they touched on it in the books or not, but we actually find out where the Hanging Tree song originated, which I thought was really, really neat. We find out what a lot of unique names mean, and you just kind of get to see the world very freshly out of war, and what happened and how they recovered. And I think it gives a little more insight into why the Hunger Games are continuing, as well as just really who started them and what they're for. I feel like you get a lot more historical background into the Hunger Games and what they're even using them for and how they're getting people involved in them and what their involvement means. It's really interesting to me and scary to me how much it could mimic reality. The likelihood of it ever mimicking reality is probably very slim. However, honestly, you just never know. You just never know. So I 100% recommend this book. As I said, obviously it's a prequel. Would I recommend people, if they've never read The Hunger Games, would I recommend them reading this one first? I honestly don't know. It's one of those books that I feel like you could read the Hunger Games series and then this book like I did. Or you could read this book and then the Hunger Games series, and it would both have really big impacts on the reader regardless of what order you read it in, whether you read the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and then the trilogy, or the trilogy and then this book. I honestly couldn't imagine what it would be like to read this before reading the trilogy, but I think you could read it either way. I think it was written in a way that you could easily read it first and then carry on. However, obviously, if you've never read the books, that is completely up to you in what order you want to read it. I honestly don't think I have a preference, so that's something that you can't ask me. However, I do think that this is worth a read. I do think the Hunger Games are worth a read. I know when I picked this book up, the trilogy individual were all on sale. So now's the time to get it if you're interested. But yeah, I highly recommend this book, especially if you've read The Hunger Games. Obviously, it is a young adult novel because The Hunger Games are young adult. However, obviously I'm 26 and I enjoyed it. However, it could be because it was a nostalgic feeling for me. Not really sure, but I do really enjoy it, and I do still really enjoy Suzanne Collins' writing. Do I recommend this for young adults? Absolutely. I think a lot of young adults could really enjoy these books, similar to when I enjoyed them the first time. I'm actually reading a lot of young adult books coming up. I picked up the new Twilight book as well. I'm not going to be reading that quite yet because I don't know if you guys can see this little series back here. I am starting a new series, and I will be doing reviews on them as well. I'm going to do them, I'm going to do them individually, but I'm thinking I might do an overall at the end. I haven't decided. But the Twilight one will be coming, but these books up here, this little series here, is all young adult novels. So a little bit different than what I have been reading and what I've been reviewing, but don't worry, there are other actual adult novels coming, and maybe these could help people who are looking for recommendations for an easy read or for people who are young adults. It's very easy and it's very straightforward. Honestly, I feel like the most difficult thing to read in the Hunger Games novels are the names, and sometimes you just kind of have to make it up as you go. But honestly, like I said, I recommend this book. I recommend the Hunger Games series as a whole. So that is it. That is all for today's video, and I know I kind of look comfy cozy today because it's drab outside, it is chilly, and honestly I just wanted to curl up with a book and finish it, which is what I did. So as for now, I will see you guys soon, and I hope you enjoyed. And if you've read The Hunger Games, let me know down below. If you've read The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, let me know what you thought down below. And if you have any recommendations for books that you want me to review, also let me know that. If you like what you see, subscribe and you will see like-minded content come out. And I will see you guys soon. Bye.